All right, guys, Grizzly Risley here. Welcome to graphing parabolas in factored form. And usually for most people, this is their favorite type. Okay, but before we start, can we just do a little recap of what we've done so far? So the first type we learned was graphing in vertex form. And remember, graphing in vertex form, it looked like y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. And then remember, the h and the k gave us a vertex. And then we plugged in 0 for x to get the y-intercept, and you got stuff from that. And then next, after that, we graphed parabolas given to us in standard form. And if you remember, standard form is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And that's the one that we just recently did, where to find the vertex, you have to do that formula, negative b over 2a. To find the intercepts, you have to factor and solve. And then today's our last type. Today, they're going to give you the equation in factors, and we're going to learn how to graph it from that. But I think today's the easiest one, so this should be good. Okay, so the good news is to find the zeros for today, since they're already factored, it's just going to be the opposites of them, right? Remember we said before, if it's already factored and you set it equal to 0, it's just the opposite of the stuff in the parenthesis. So it's going to be P and Q, right? Opposite of minus is positive, opposite of minus is positive. And then the vertex is actually going to be right in the middle of the two zeros. And you're just going to have to wait to see us do one of those. So once you find the zeros, the vertex is going to be directly in the middle of them. And then the line of symmetry is still going to be x equals whatever the x value of the vertex is. Same thing. And the y-intercept is still going to be plug in 0 for x. Plug in 0 for x, and that will still be your y-intercept. So I think this one is the least amount of work. And I know you guys like least amount of work. All right, so example 1. Let's do one. So first, they're giving you the equation in standard form. So let's find the zeros. And the zeros, remember, are opposite. So positive 2 and negative 4. Right? Always the opposite. You know what? Let's go ahead and graph those right away. Let's make the zeros at 2 and negative 4 right away. Okay, so how do we find, here, y-intercept. Y-intercept is when we plug in 0 for x. So we're going to plug in 0 for x, and let's see what we get. So if you want to do it on the calculator, feel free. So what's 0 minus 2 times 0 plus 4? Okay, we do not need a calculator for this. I hope you guys can do this in your head, that it's negative 8, right? Plug in 0, you get negative 8. So feel free to not use a calculator on this. All right, so the y-intercept is at 0, comma negative 8. And why don't we just graph that as well right now? Why not? Okay, now to find the vertex. This is the only different kind of part for this one. So the vertex is going to be right in the middle of the zeros. So what point is right in the middle of 2 and negative 4? So if you work your way in to the middle, what would be the x value of the vertex? So what point is right in between 2 and negative 4? So if you inch your way in, it looks like it's at negative 1, right? So the vertex is at negative 1 comma something. We don't know what, but to find it, we plug negative 1 in for x. Okay, so again, negative 1 is going to be the vertex, right? Because it's, remember, the vertex cuts the graph in half, so it's just the halfway point between the zeros. Negative 1 comma something, and to find the something, we plug negative 1 into x. Okay, so all I did is I did negative 1 minus 2 times negative 1 plus 4. And there you go. The vertex is at negative 1 comma negative 9. And then the line of symmetry is always x equals the x value of the vertex, so x equals negative 1. All right, so let's do it. The vertex is now at negative 1 comma negative 9. And then our line of symmetry goes down the middle. And then we have our freebie y point right here, right? If it's 1 away, it's got to be 1 away. And then there you go. Connect the dots, and that is our parabola. So you guys, this x is not part of the graph. That was just showing where the vertex was going to line up. All right, let's try one more. So turn the page. All right, let's try number 2. Okay, first thing, guys, this negative sign does not affect your zeros. So go ahead and pretend it's not even there for the zeros. So zeros are opposite, opposite, so negative 5 and positive 3. Okay, the negative sign just tells you if it opens down, does not affect your zeros. So I'm going to graph those, negative 5 and positive 3. Okay, y-intercept is when we plug in 0 for x. So let's do it. Well, now you do need the negative sign. So now we got to plug it in exactly as we see it, but we need to plug in 0 for x. Again, I don't know why I'm using a calculator. I think we can do this in our heads. The answer is 15. So the y-intercept is 0 comma 15. And it looks like that's way off the graph, but that's okay. 5, 10, 15. It's like way up here somewhere. Okay, the vertex. We got to find the halfway point between the zeros. So what point is right in the middle of negative 5 and 3? So if we inch our way in, oh my gosh, it's at negative 1 again, right? Oh, I'll put a little x. Okay, so the vertex is at negative 1 comma something. And now let's plug that negative 1 back in for x and see what the y value is. Okay, so I'm going to type it in exactly as I see it. And I'm going to plug in negative 1 for x. Right? That's how we get the y value of the vertex. And I get 16. So negative 1 comma 16. Okay, I hope you guys are getting that. That's even more off the graph, but only by a little. So negative 1 comma 16. And that means the line of symmetry will go through x equals negative 1. And then let's get our freebie y point. I know it's not ideal, way off the graph. And then if you connect the graph, it's a parabola facing down. And we knew it would face down because there was a negative out front. All right, guys, feel free to stop. If you'd like to see one with a fraction out front, I am going to do this one. It's really no different, but if you want to try it, feel free to keep watching. But feel free to stop if you need to. All right, let's do it. The zeros are the opposites. So negative 4 and positive 6, right? So let's get those down right away. Negative 4 and positive 6. The y-intercept is when we plug in 0 for x, please try this without a calculator, but I'm going to do it on here. So we have negative 1/2 times, all right, I'm plugging in 0 for all the x's. So 0 plus 4 times 0 minus 6. And let's see, I can do this in my head. Negative 1/2 times negative 24, it should be 12. So the answer is 12. All right, so the y-intercept is at 0, 12. And let's get that on the graph too. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, vertex. Vertex is right in the middle of the two zeros. So what value is right smack in the middle? So oh, it's not negative 1 this time. All right, let's inch our way in. It's at positive 1 this time. We're so creative. Okay, so the vertex is at 1 comma something. So we need to take that 1 and plug it in for the x's. So let's do it. So we got negative 1/2. All right, we got to plug in 1. So 1 plus 4 times 1 minus 6. All right, so when you plug in 1, you get, yuck, 25 over 2. What is that? 25 divided by 2 is 12.5. So the vertex is at 1 comma 12.5. That's okay. And the line of symmetry is always x equals the x value of the vertex, so x equals 1. All right, so let's graph that. 1 comma 12.5 is just a little bit higher than that guy. And then our line of symmetry is going to run down x equals 1. And then remember, we get our freebie y over here. And we're good to go. Connect the dots. This guy's also facing down because the leading, okay, pretend that crossed. Leading coefficient was negative. All right, nice job, guys. That was graphing parabolas in factored form. Thanks for watching. Peace.